Record. So, Mr. Hayden, you are one of our authors for Wrights of Wyoming 2020 this year. You wrote Lucis Dator for us. And I have a few questions for you. Some were written by cast members. A couple were written by crew, actually, that were watching while we were doing stuff. So the first question I have actually comes from Ellen. She played your Cindy in the play. And she said that she would love to ask you what the most difficult part of writing the play was, and if it felt cathartic for you religion-wise.
So it did feel pretty cathartic at the time when I was writing it. I was really struggling with my Christian upbringings and had some other personal issues going on shortly before I started writing, and it just coalesced into this short story that led to the creation of this play.
So did you have any difficulties while you were writing it? Did you have anything that like really you struggled with while you were writing?
So I struggled a little bit in the beginning because I had kind of a rough idea of what I wanted the story to be about, but I wasn't quite sure how to progress it. And I kind of struggled with it for a few days, and then suddenly it just clicked. I was having a cup of coffee with some adult inebriation added to it, and suddenly it just was like a light came on.
And it just kind of flowed on from there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Did you have much difficulty transitioning it from your short story into play form?
A little bit, just simply because I was not familiar with how a play should be written. So it was a little difficult in trying to figure out, okay, so here's how I have it described, here's how it needs to be written to be acted out.
So now that you have gone through the process of taking a short story, turning it into a play, and now seeing it done kind of as a stage reading, you got to watch a read through and then you actually came to watch filming. Where do you think you want to take it from here?
Honestly, I would love to be able to see this brought forward in a just full production manner, actual painted or design built backdrops, actual full props, just the whole nine, and even potentially coming up with some other parts to add on in continuation.
Okay.
Almost like an anthology kind of
thing. Okay. Make it a little bit longer, stretch out the story.
Yeah.
At the end of the play, there's a suggestion that Cindy has made her decision.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel like you want to reveal what her decision was?
No, not at all. I intentionally wrote and left it that way to be completely open for the readers and now the viewers and the audience, so that way they can maybe connect a little bit more with the character.
Okay.
So when I wrote it, I had in mind, what if I was in a situation, nothing in my life seems to be going right. I don't really have a way to get out of it. And someone presented me with these options. And so I left it open-ended because I know what I would do, but I want my readers and the audience to be able to kind of make their own decisions in what their choice would be.
So since you know what your choice would be, what would it be?
I'd take the money and run.
Yep.
Partially.
That would have been mine too.
Yeah, I would have taken the money and run, but I also would have called the so
Gotcha. So you would have taken 2 out of the 3.
pretty much, yeah, and maybe kept the gun for a little protection on my way out of town. But
Yeah, there you go. Just take all 3 and go.
yeah,
Yeah, why not?
nothing says you couldn't.
Absolutely. So while writing, did you have a favorite character?
Oh, definitely Lucis.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Did you base any of your characters on anybody you knew, or did they just come to you?
They just came to me. About the only real influence I had character-wise was on Lucis's appearance. Because at the time I was reading the Lucifer comics from Neil Gaiman,
Oh, okay.
and so
Okay.
that was the kind of the proto image I had in my mind, a very, well tanned, well dressed individual with, well, basically David Bowie's hair,
Right. Gotta love that hair.
right?
Gotcha. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, so stage production wise, if you could actually cast anybody on the planet, living or dead, who would you make your 3 characters?
Cindy, I'm not 100% sure. I'd probably go with an actress who's probably an up and comer, someone that's not overly well known and popular, because I wouldn't want that pre-established fame to distract from the performance. The narrator, honestly, probably I just drew a blank on his name. Older Irish gentleman. Oh, he played the father in the Assassin's Creed movie, if you ever watched it. Can't think of his name off the top of my head. I could pull it up, but
Somebody watching can fill us in.
oh yes, absolutely.
Fill us in a comment. That'll work.
And if this recording ever reaches any of these actors or actresses, I wholeheartedly apologize for not remembering your name.
Not remembering
Your faces in my head, but I am terrible with names. And yeah. As for Lucis, honestly, I would probably want Tom Ellis.
There you go.
Just from watching his own performances on his show, Lucifer, and I think that he has that mental. He can fill the mental image that I had when I wrote it.
Nice. Nice. Very cool.
And not just appearance, but mannerisms and everything else.
Awesome. So, any other insights or things that you would want to share with the audience of your play?
Yeah, so one big thing is, for those who may not have read my short story before the release of this anyway, because it's in the process of being published in my book.
Nice.
Is the narrator is not in the original short story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the narrator was created initially and originally for the play, simply because as I started converting it, I realized, well, maybe I should have a little something to give the audience, at least a kind of insight as to how the characters, or at least Cindy, is feeling and reacting.
Okay.
Just because the short story itself does have a lot of the inner monologues.
Right. Right.
Whereas you don't quite get that in a play.
Right. Right.
So
Hard to do.
So I thought that creating and introducing the narrator into the overall story was a good way to seal that gap without ruining or having to change anything about this.
Awesome. 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 All right. So I was about to ask what comes next for Hayden. You're publishing a book?
Yeah. I finished writing it a few years back. Had some trouble hunting down publishers, and then finally found one back in March of this year, 2020. Um, I then submitted it for copyright um, towards the middle of April. Um, and unfortunately, copyright office at the Library of Congress takes about 6 months to get moving. So still waiting to hear back on that, but I actually should be hearing back from them shortly, the next few weeks. And then once I have that, about a week after that, my book will be available to everybody.
Awesome. And you're publishing it through who's your publisher?
I'm going through Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing.
Nice. Nice. I've had a few people publish through there, so they seem to be easy to work with. So
Oh yeah,
very
everything
cool.
I've looked at so far, it's very still in the control of writer and still gives you a lot of freedom, but it's also very easy to work with. It's not difficult or complicated by any real means.
Awesome. So what is the title? What should we be looking for when it comes out?
So the title is An American Spirit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And publishing under Hayden Brooks, or did you
Yep.
use a pen name? Pen name?
Nope.
All right.
All original name.
Awesome.
Here for
Very
the gods
cool.
and the glory.
Awesome. We'll be looking for that. We'll have to post a link or something on our True page for you too, so that we can put it
Yeah,
out.
absolutely.
Awesome. We'll have a published author as part of Wrights of Wyoming 2020. So, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we hope to have you as part of more things in the future and whatnot. We absolutely loved having your work, and I can tell you that the cast would absolutely love to do more with it. So if it ever moves on to a further process, they absolutely loved being a part of it, and they loved having your work. So we greatly appreciate your submission this year, and we thank you greatly.
Thank you for having me and let me be part of this.
Absolutely.